see you again. Go ahead, take a seat. Take a seat.
Me too.
So how have you been this last week?
Actually, I lost my job. So, it was kind of shocking to me. I'm not super upset just because I was kind of thinking in my head that I wanted to start looking for another job. But I was hoping to give myself some time to prepare for this and, have another job lined up. So right now I feel like I'm just in a really weird spot. I haven't not had a job for 5 years now, so I don't know what to do with myself. It feels weird having to write resumes and I don't know, I'm not guaranteed that I'm going to get employed again. I guess it feels weird.
Definitely. Wow. So as far as that goes, so you sound like you're a little awkward about it. You don't know exactly how to take it, but you have kind of thought about it where it's not the worst scenario because you weren't enjoying it so much.
Yeah, actually I am thankful that it happened. I can kind of see the bigger picture, but the way that it happened was just super unprofessional. I didn't even get to tell my side of the story. I feel a little betrayed by my coworkers because they didn't stand up for me. So I mean, it's a little unfortunate, but I think it was going to come no matter what.
So they didn't stand up for you. What exactly happened?
So I was just upset because my company wasn't upholding the standards that they said that they had. And so I was very vocal about it. I said, I don't like the way this is going. Why are we doing this? I know I have a big mouth sometimes, but I'm very passionate about things. And so when I was talking to my managers about the situation, they kind of would agree with me or whatever, and they would just never give me a satisfactory answer as far as that we were gonna get back on our standards. And then when it came to my supervisor, he told me that I was slandering the business or whatever, and he couldn't even sit me down like a boss and have a conversation with me about why I was upset or what I actually thought or whatever.
Oh wow, so he was extremely unprofessional about the whole situation, it sounds like.
Yeah, it was upsetting. I mean, he wasn't much older than I am, but at the same time, if you're going to be running a business, I don't understand why.
Right.
You can't have a mature conversation, so.
And last time you talked about your position there, and you said that you really enjoyed it, but you didn't as much so like the customer part of it, but you didn't really mention any of these issues. Was this something that was kind of ongoing, or did it just kind of come out of nowhere?
The whole place has kind of had managerial issues because the actual boss lives halfway across the country, so he's not kind of around to keep an eye on things. He kind of lets other people take over, and we had a change in management about 4 months ago or so, and before that I noticed there was some problems, but I wasn't in my manager position at the time, so I didn't say anything. It didn't really affect me as much, and I was able to get by. And then once I got promoted, I was kind of wanting to get in there and make things better because that's what I wanted to do. And then I don't know, I guess just the new supervisor didn't care so much or whatever, and so yeah, things just didn't get better, which was why I was thinking about leaving in the first place. But I definitely was adamant about it because I was making really good money, and like I mentioned before, I'm trying to move out, so now this puts me in a really awkward position.
Okay, so I guess as far as you moving out, that's going to really affect it quite a bit then?
Yeah, I feel really bad because I was just waiting for this for so long, and I was really on the right track as far as budgeting and looking for what I wanted, and like I said, me and my boyfriend, we've been waiting for this, and I know that he's been ready to get a house now, and so I feel a little bit of stress, not that he's putting on me intentionally, just the whole situation, because I know that now he's expecting me to get another job, but he also knows that this pushes us back, which is not what he wanted in the first place.
Okay, and you did mention budgeting, which was exactly kind of what we talked about in our goals last time, was kind of trying to budget and whatnot. So when you did sit down and kind of budget your expenses and your salaries and whatnot, were you guys right on track at that point, or were you guys already kind of in a predicament where you were going to have to do a few extra things to be able to get to that point, to be able to get your place?
Honestly, I was thinking that I needed to make more money somehow. I was trying to think of something that I could do like outside of work to make more money. I definitely could still cut my spending habits, so I just know that I need to do that now. But yeah, so it does feel like a big setback, but not devastating, just not where I want it to be right now.
So since it wasn't, your budgeting wasn't exactly where it kind of needed to be, I guess, in the first place as is, could this possibly be even like a blessing in disguise? Because maybe you might have an opportunity to kind of see what else is out there, maybe perhaps expand. Did you kind of have that in your mind as is, or?
No, well, I guess I had never really looked for a job before because the first job I ever got, my cousin gave it to me. It was at a banquet hall. I loved it. I was really good at it, and so I kept that job for a while. And then I moved to this new company about like 8 months ago, and that was recommended through a friend. So like, I wasn't like actively looking, but I said I always had a job, and I was usually able to move up and do pretty well in those jobs. So as I started looking, once I got fired, I did find that there's a lot of things that I could do that I would actually enjoy. Unfortunately, a lot of them require like a college degree already, which I don't have, but there's a couple like doing some tutoring in teacher classrooms or whatever, or working with some foster kids, like transporting them and organizing activities and stuff like that. So I think it is a good thing, but at the same time, I know if I take one of those positions, I'm not going to make as much money as I would being a manager somewhere else.
Right.
And so that freaks me out, thinking that I may have to get a second job, which would be fine for now, but then come fall time when my internship comes for school, like I would not be able to handle that. So I'm getting a little anxiety about that too.
Okay. And you mentioned that a lot of your past positions have been based upon like referrals and whatnot, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like you're probably a pretty likable person and people are willing to refer you and you're getting in by word of mouth, right?
Yeah,
So
no.
that's definitely a plus.
Yeah, I guess I never thought of it that way, but that does make me feel good, so.
So is kind of one of your goals is the next step is to find a job like immediately, or are you looking to take a little time to yourself to figure things out? Or I guess what are you looking to do?
I don't know, I feel like I could definitely use a little bit of time just because I've always been on the go, and it's been nice. It's only been a week, but it's been nice kind of just to relax and plan out my own days instead of like just being on a set schedule all the time. But I feel like deep down, if I take too much time, I'm going to start freaking myself out because like I know I can fall into the laziness, but I also know that I like don't really like myself when I'm that lazy, and so that's not something like I want to achieve. But I don't know. I think maybe a little bit more time. But at the same time, I'm worried that like I'm going to have time regardless because if nobody hires me, then, I'm still going to be out of a job. But.
Right. Well, sanity is definitely important, so that's a good thing. So if you do need to take a little bit of time to kind of recuperate and whatnot, I mean, it might not be the worst thing in the world, but it's completely up to you. So if time's something you need, maybe a little time won't be a bad idea, but if you were looking to get like right into another position, that's definitely something that our organization kind of specializes in. It helps, it kind of helps people guide them to work, figure out like resume buildings and whatnot, and just kind of the whole overall getting a job, the whole process. Now, I don't know if this is something that you would need help with, or are you pretty well?
Actually, like I said, I could probably use some help in that area just because like my interview was with my cousin when I got my first job, so it wasn't a real interview. My second interview was kind of a real interview, but not really either. So I feel confident in my ability to present myself, but I could definitely work on my interviewing skills as well as writing a resume. Like I was looking at it, I have to write cover letters, and I've never really written a cover letter before, so it's definitely something I could use some help in because I haven't had that experience actually.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's definitely something that we can get together. We actually have different meetings and whatnot where we kind of go over different interviewing techniques, different things. There's a lot of people that can help you with the interview process. That's extremely important, but even more importantly, I think, is actually getting that face-to-face interaction, being able to get the interview. So as far as the cover letter goes, the resumes, and then overall, actually getting the resume out there, because what it really comes down to is kind of marketing yourself. And as I see you sitting right here in front of me, it seems like you have a pretty good presentation. It seems like you're confident. So shouldn't be too hard. So this is something that we can definitely help you with. Now, are you familiar with things like Craigslist, Indeed for getting jobs, or are you more of a go into the location that you're looking into, get an application, and kind of fill that out? What's kind of your preference?
Well, I started looking on Indeed, I feel like just to get some ideas. I was going to apply to some places there, but I know, for me personally, I would rather have someone who is interested in the job come in and kind of talk to me. So, like, I mean, if there's a place I find interesting, I would apply online, but then I think I would also walk in and hand them my resume as well, just to show them that this is, what I really want. So.
Okay. And what we're kind of looking for, one of your goals was to get your own place. Now, I don't know if we 100% set that time frame of what you were looking for. Do you have an idea from today? It's right here in March 23rd. Do you have like a kind of a date in mind of when you would like to get a place by?
I'd love to say the fall. I think that's a little unrealistic until I'm able to kind of see what kind of job I get or how I start making more money. It would be great to do it before the end of the year, but at least I think before this time next year, I would be the happiest.
Okay, perfect. I mean, you mentioned this fall. I mean, this fall it is about 7 months away. I was counting as we're talking about it. But I don't know, maybe you could set that goal definitely. Maybe be like a Christmas present by Christmas.
Right.
Do you think that's something that we could possibly be able to work out, where you could make it happen by then?
I think so. I just think the only thing that would set us back is that it would be kind of hard to move in the winter, just in general. But other than that, I mean, I think it's still a pretty good goal. Depending, I mean, if we could get a place by the fall, depending on the shape of the place, we could actually do like that additional tweaks to it that we need to, and then be able to move into the winter. That would be fine, rather than buying a house in the winter, trying to fix it up, and then move in.
So perhaps, by next fall, you're saying would be like the most ideal, where you would like to be in the home, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So okay, maybe by the winter time, at least maybe the budgeting could kind of be figured out, where you're a little bit more comfortable with the financing. Maybe that could be something that could be set. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I think that would be good, definitely, and hopefully the next time I come in, I'm employed.
Well, I mean, we actually see each other weekly, so do you think it would be able to happen that soon, or when's kind of your realistic goal of when you would like to actually get into your new position?
I really don't want to take any more time off than a month.
Okay.
So I'm definitely, this weekend, I'm going to send out a lot of applications and kind of take it from there, hopefully set up a couple interviews and then see what happens. So I'm thinking more 2 weeks or so, but.
About 2 weeks, 2 weeks. Okay, so you want to have a job within 2 weeks, or you want to have some interviews set up within the 2 weeks?
I would like to have a job within 2 weeks.
Okay, all right. Well, it is Thursday today. We actually do have a meeting on Saturday. Yeah. This would be something that could help you with the interview process, the resumes, the billing. You actually have a resume right now, or?
I do, at least I started one. I think it could definitely be updated, and I feel personally that the resume should kind of be tailored to which job you're applying for, because there's different, positions. So.
Yeah, so you could actually have like a general email for the different categories of employment. So say you were looking at about 4 or 5 different fields, you could have the same resume essentially, but you could kind of tailor it to each one of those individually. So it'd be like a general resume for the actual kind of category.
Yeah.
So I think you definitely have the right idea. So that's something that we could help you out with, is retweaking the resumes, kind of getting them tailored to the specific job category, and then we can make sure you have it. We even actually sit down and help send out all the resumes.
Okay.
Our organization actually focuses on definitely finding a job that you would like, but the process is kind of based upon terms of a numbers game. So we like to kind of help by sending out as many resumes as possible.
Right.
And then even if the position isn't something where you're like 100% into, even that interview interaction is good for you to kind of just get the experience of interviewing, so that when you do get put in front of someone who you really like, you're ready.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
if that's something that you would like to do, we could actually set you up for this Saturday, since you're that eager to get it, and we could go from there, see how it goes, and then you can jump right into trying to find a position.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Yeah, I'm definitely happy with how the session went.
Absolutely. So I think you're definitely on the right track. I mean, you might have lost your job, but I see that you're very positive about it. I feel like you're definitely, you're the word that I'm looking for. You're resilient. You're extremely resilient. There's something unique, and yep. So you're extremely resilient, and I think you'll be able to reach your goals within 2 weeks. Find a job, and then maybe by the end of this year, actually have the budgeting figured out. So then by next fall, you could actually be in your new home.
Right.
And exactly what you're looking for. Because I remember our first session, it was definitely something that you wanted was the new place. So
Right, yeah.
I felt for you that you lost your job because I know that it was something that you want to do. But it seems like we can work everything out.
I think so too. I think there's potential at least. So.
Okay, absolutely. And I guess, was there any other prevalent problems where anything else was going on? Or I mean, besides that, how are you dealing with it kind of on an emotional level, mentally?
I feel pretty good because I think at the end of the day, I kind of stood up for what I believed in, and that's kind of what I'm all about. So, I mean, it sucks, but like my parents really supported me in my decision, and my boyfriend was happy that I left too. So I think it's for the better. Like I said, it was just unexpected.
Right. So I mean, that's great then. I mean, one of the definite big things is what makes you happy. If you're in a position that you're not happy in due to different problems,
Right.
then it's something where you do kind of need to work it out depending on where you're coming from. So it's probably not the biggest problem as far as that goes. But mentally overall, you were saying that you are okay.
Yeah, no, I feel okay. I'm maybe a little bit anxious now because I'm thinking about the future, but at the same time, like as you said, as we kind of set goals, I'll feel more comfortable with how I'm moving forward, and I won't feel at such a standstill.
Absolutely, and I'm hoping that the goals could kind of help just with the anxiety and whatnot as well. That way you kind of have a plan and you're not just feeling like you're lost out here. Exactly. So, but as far as your actual anxiety goes and whatnot, we're kind of getting close to the end for this session, but I feel like we gained a little ground and maybe you can move from there. But if this is something that's affecting you at all, I would kind of like to look into it next session, if that's what you would like, kind of just how your anxiety is doing. We can really focus on that our next session if that's you're interested in, just so we kind of have a game plan from here.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Hopefully, I guess depending on how things work out, we'll see how I'm feeling in the next session.
Right. So hopefully everything does work out great, and then by next week, you have everything figured out, have a few resumes put out there, and then even some possible job interviews. But we'll touch on how you're doing with or dealing with the anxiety and whatnot, and then we can go from there. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. It was so great talking to you,
Yeah,
Beth.
good seeing you.
I hope everything goes great. You have a great weekend.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Damn, that was that long?
How long is it?
18.